am Cheyenne Chase, and I am SNIP Collier's Marketing and Outreach Coordinator. I'm also SNIP Collier's podcast editor and producer. And unfortunately, I'm here today because we had some technical difficulties with our most recent podcast recording. So 5 out of 6 of our recordings came without any audio, which is heartbreaking because each one of our guests put themselves out there and did an amazing job. So I'm really sad that we aren't able to share that with you. So what I'm going to do today, to the best of my ability, is quickly recap all of those conversations that we had, and then still present the very last version or recording that we were able to somehow save the audio from, and just promise that we will bring each one of these amazing guests back to speak to you in the future. But for now, I'm going to jump into some of the updates that we have. So our very first guest was Caitlin. She is one of our amazing vet techs, and most recently she has been working tirelessly to clean out and restock our mobile unit. This is the unit we usually take to Immokalee so that we can do our TNR clinics and some surgeries while we're out there. But she has been cleaning it and restocking it so that we can prepare for doing some dental cleanings for the community, which we're really excited about. We've never done the dental cleaning procedures within the SNIP Collier vet family, but we are really excited to be rolling this out very soon. We have brought on some new staff members that I'll be talking about here in a little bit who are going to also help us kind of roll this out, but we're really excited about offering this low-cost option to the community. And again, we're not trying to step on any vets' toes or anything like that. This is definitely not going to be our primary business, but we do want to serve the community to the best of our ability, and this is something that we will now be able to do. So we're very, very excited to announce that. In addition to cleaning and restocking the mobile unit, Caitlin will now be the manager, let's say, of moving the mobile unit from place to place, so she is learning to drive it, and she will also keep the unit stocked for any surgeries or special days that we're going to be doing going forward. So she's really excited about it, and we are really excited about that for her. So huge growth opportunity on both ends. Very exciting stuff, and I'm sure you'll hear more from her in the future when we have her back. The next guest we welcomed was Yasmina. She is our surgical lead tech, and she is helping us implement our new dentals program. So Caitlin and Yasmina have been working really closely together to just figure out exactly what we're going to need to make this work for the community. Yasmina also recently adopted 2 puppies. One of them is a very special puppy. He has a special front leg that's shorter than all of the rest. So if you are familiar with children's Disney movies, you might remember that Nemo in Finding Nemo has a lucky fin because it is smaller than his other fin. So she actually named this puppy Nemo, which is so adorable. I am going to add a clip of both puppies in here for you to see, and we will definitely talk more about them and get an update about them in a future podcast, so stay tuned for that as well. We also received an update from Kaylin. She's our operations manager here at SNIP Collier, and she went ahead and named off all of the upcoming events we have for viewers to look out for. There are some really exciting ones coming up as we near the end of the year. So I'll go ahead and list those off right now. So starting with September 27th, from 5 to 7 p.m., we will be participating in Wine Around the Water, which is going to be at the Village Shops on Venetian Bay. So this is where you can sip, savor, and support a worthy cause, aka SNIP Collier, at Wine Around the Water. So we'll be at the Village Shops. There's going to be great food, obviously some delicious wine, and beautiful views if you choose to come out and join us for that event. You can find more details and a registration link for that on our social media pages and on our website. Then on October 11th, we have Paws Fest. That's going to be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Baker Park on, again, October 11th. So this exciting event promises fun for all ages, featuring local businesses and free giveaways. It's a wonderful opportunity for dog lovers and their furry friends to come together and enjoy a day filled with exciting activities. So come out to Baker Park and hang out with us. Bring your pups if you can. On October 17th, we have our second annual golf tournament beginning at 8:30 a.m. We are going to be cutting off the registrations on October 1st. We would like to get all of our registrants. We do still have some spaces available, but we want to make sure that we get everybody registered by October 1st. And we do still have sponsorship opportunities. If anybody is interested in, sponsoring this event, a link to what sponsorship opportunities are still available is going to be found on our website and on our social media pages as well. We are also welcoming back our Rock the Block dates, which are going to be the third Thursday of each month at Mercado. So this starts in October, and if I look at a calendar right now, the first Thursday, or the first occurrence of this Rock the Block will be October 16th, and that's going to be from 6:30 to 9:30. There's always great food, lots of good music, and we have a SNIP Collier tent where you can purchase beverages and just kind of support us and also have a really enjoyable evening. Also in Mercado, beginning in October, we have Cars and Coffee coming up. So the first date for Cars and Coffee will be October 19th, and that'll be from 9 to 11 a.m. Then we have our pumpkin patch also taking place in Mercado. So we're going to be back at Mercado this year with the best prices on pumpkins in town, and we ask that you just come and take some photos and choose your perfect pumpkins for carving and fun. This is great. There's like a great photo opportunity if you have children or pets and you want to get in the middle of the pumpkin patch and take some pictures. We will be there from October 16th to October 26th. So make sure if you can come out and check us out in our little pumpkin patch. And then lastly, for right now, we have a Christmas tree lighting on the books, again at Mercado. So they're going to do the Christmas tree lighting on November 28th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And again, we really hope that we get to see you there. It's a lot of fun for the family, super enjoyable. And if you want more information about any of these, again, you can check the links on our website, which is going to be www.snipcollier.org/upcoming-events, or you can just go to the main webpage and choose events, or find most of them on Facebook as well. Vanessa also joined us on the podcast to announce that she has revamped our SNIP Collier TikTok account. So you can find us at the Snipettes on TikTok, and she's been doing a fantastic job recording videos, being the brains behind any videos that are coming out. They're so hilarious. They're very creative. I highly recommend you follow us. Again, that's the Snipettes, so TheSnippettes on TikTok. Lots of fun stuff you'll see there. Some of the content we'll post to our normal social media channels, but there will be exclusive content. Just little fun stuff so you can see what's going on with the clinic on our TikTok. So thank you so much, Vanessa, for doing an amazing job with that. It is just so fun to scroll on TikTok at the end of the day and see what you guys have been up to and all of the cute little faces and wagging tails that you get to take care of every day. So great job, Vanessa. Hope to hear more next time we have you on the podcast. And last but certainly not least, we welcomed Trevor, our newest team member, to the podcast. And we just heard some background from him. He explained that he has 10 plus years of experience in the vet and animal care world, which we were really excited for when he joined us. And he also explained that he was really excited when he joined us because he absolutely admires our mission, which is exactly the kind of person we want working at SNIP, right? Somebody who loves animals, who has the experience to help us take care of them, and really believes in our mission. So, Trevor, we're super excited to have you. You did an amazing job, and I'm really sad that we weren't able to incorporate that footage, or at least not the audio, but we will totally have you back. You are just what we needed, and we'll be sure to have you in a future podcast so that we can see your awesome personality shine as we did the first time around. So again, I apologize that unfortunately you had to hear all of that from me and not all of the wonderful voices that originally recorded it. But we will give each guest an opportunity for redemption in a future podcast, for sure. And I just want to give a little silent round of applause for each and every single person who came onto the podcast. As somebody who works in the veterinary world, it's probably a little bit hard for them, or takes a lot for them to come in front of a camera and speak freely and openly about themselves and what they do. So I want to applaud them. They did an amazing job, and I'm so excited to see where the future takes each one of them and have them back on the podcast. But not only for that, but for their work that they do every single day. They are busting their tails every day, and we are so lucky to have them on our team. So now I will go ahead and kick it back over to Tom, and he's going to talk about some of the more important things we have going on in our county and our community. But anyway, thanks for listening to me. I look forward to creating a more whole podcast for you next month with lots of voices and special guests. But until then, here's Tom.
Okay. We just had quite a session with all the employees and people that are involved with us, and it was great. Now to a little something more serious. I'm going to start seeing if I can have some commissioners come on here, possibly maybe a state's attorney eventually, maybe people from the Domestic Animal Service Advisory Board, which is very controversial right now. And SNIP and basically myself have been very involved over the last 20-some years of and I'll give you a little history of helping to write ordinances when, when I was on the advisory board for DAS. And we rewrote them in 2008, 2012, and I think it was 2017 again. I was on the advisory board for the first two. And we have the original ordinance in 2004 that started the advisory board had that the advisory board was supposed to report directly to the county commissioners. That's what it says. Anybody can go read it. And they were supposed to help with services, programs, and construction, things like that, and bring their advice to the county commission. Well, we helped write ordinances, which I considered part of enforcement, and unfortunately, we're having to rewrite them again today. And the answer, do we really need more? We do need more ordinances as far as breeders, hobby breeders. Some of the backyard breeders need to be, and we have on there now, we have that they're going to have to, I think we talked about this before at one of the podcasts, but basically anybody that has puppies or kittens is going to have to keep them 8 weeks. They're going to have them health certificates. They're going to have them chipped, and they're going to have to keep records of who they gave them to or sold them to. And I think a lot of people, this is going to be truly more work than they want to do for what they're doing. And so I think it'll cut down on the numbers out in the field. But the problem is, how are they going to enforce it? And because that's always been the question. And so far, we have the legal team for the county that's written these ordinances those last 3 times, but everybody still says, oh, they're not enforceable. So I suggested at the last commission meeting that we get a complete outside counsel to help us write how we're going to enforce them. So that's still up in the air. Next Tuesday is an advisory board meeting. And the chairman before this one decided, unfortunately, that was, and with a couple of, and I'm not going to name names, they know who they are. They decided that they didn't want to do enforcement, so they said it wasn't in their purview. Well, it always was. You can read the ordinance. I have a document from they said it wasn't a service or a program. Well, the accounting department, I got a paper that says absolutely under animal control, domestic animal services. Under services, it says enforcement. So it was. Well, now they've been separated. And there's still a debate going on whether the advisory board is going to be involved in anything other than just in the shelter. Now, I'll let them make that determination. I'm going to be there next Tuesday evening, and I hope that as much of the population out here that cares will either contact us or go onto the site and make sure that they attend. I think it starts at 5:30, but it's next Tuesday evening. And they're going to be talking about getting the ordinance to reset their obligations, and not really. I just want it clear what they're going to do, because here's the issue: if they don't take up the enforcement side, there is no place else to go. Code enforcement, their code, the advisement board for code enforcement, they don't do any of this, and I don't. There's nothing in their ordinance that brought them. So they'd have to make a place, and so far I haven't really seen anybody too aggressively doing that. So if the advisory board can't talk about animal-related issues in the field, then there's only one place that we have to go, and that's the county commission meetings. And I really don't think the commission wants 30 or 40 of us going every meeting and talking public, so we do need a place to vent our frustrations and have it heard and reacted on. So I hope everybody can come to that. And also the commission meetings, they need to start hearing from the public on how we feel about it, more than just me and a few other people. People need to start coming. And if anybody wants to contact myself or whatever and talk about this, I'd love to have it. Again, my phone number, 239-825-5834. Or you can go on our Facebook page and contact Cheyenne, and she'll take your name and get you on the list of people to contact. So we need to get, not necessarily, I mean, we need the ordinances for the hobby breeders or backyard breeders, whatever you want to call them, but we also need all of our state laws, county laws enforced. So now I'm going to start bringing like a case or two. This is the Florida state laws relating to animals, and this edition was brought out in 2024, so it's current. And our county has a habit of wanting to read state statutes when it works for them. And we wrote an ordinance years ago when I was on the advisory board that no animal, and I think that's state law, it's in this book, they're not supposed to leave these shelters unless they're altered, fixed, spayed and neutered. And so in our ordinance it says once an animal is impounded, it shall not go back to the owners without being fixed unless they have a letter from a family vet, not just somebody. When we first passed that, there was one vet in town that was writing them for $100. And thankfully, Darcy, who was with Domestic Animal Service at the time, she got that changed to where they actually have to be from a family vet. And so the way the Domestic Animal Service now is getting around that is they give them to people that foster to adopt. And so then they go out into a foster unaltered. The problem is some of them don't come back. And we need to have those numbers. But then also, my question is then, if there's 20 animals out in foster to adopt, and if they've been there 6 months but they're not on the adoption list, if they're just in a foster, why aren't they still on the adoption list? Could be a medical reason, could be, I don't know. But they need to account for that and let us know why they're not on the adoption list if they're just sitting in foster someplace, and how long do they have before they take them out. So some of these things, so it's just a way to get around our ordinance. The other one was just brought up at the meeting the other night, state statute that says that, according to them, the people in the field, like 2 weeks ago, you saw it on Facebook, the Great Dane and the Bulldog that I picked up on a Sunday morning out in the field. Well, those were returned to the guy, and I don't think they got citations for license, running at large, but there's a lot more involved in this. The guy's breeding them, they're not fixed, and they should have never been given back to him, because state law says that you can write your own protocols. It says the county shall have written protocols for returning animals, and they give a list of them in here. And what they don't want to share is they can make those more restrictive than the state. So they could put in there, if they're not licensed or rabies shots are fixed, they have to go to the shelter first instead of returning them just out on the street, because I guarantee you the actual case number, if anybody wants to look it up, I'm still trying to get public records, is CEAC 2025-000-9897. And I'm trying to get all the public records, but I haven't been able to get them yet. So these are the kind of things that we have to have changed. And so I called the state's attorney this morning, and I asked him, who holds the county facilities, or the county period? These are state laws and state statutes. So who holds the county responsible for implementing these? And the inspector for the state's attorney's office in Lee County says, that's a good question, I don't know. And then he said, maybe it's the commissioners. I said, no, those are the ones we need to hold accountable to enforce our state statutes and our ordinances, because in the end, that's who's responsible. And so, look, I'm not asking everybody to go jump on them, but I am trying to figure out who's responsible for keeping these, because so far, state's attorney, and then I called the attorney general this afternoon and I got the same answer. No one knows. So I find it interesting that we use state statutes when we don't want to do something, but we don't implement them when it would help do things. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts about this a little bit today. We'll keep working on it. I will say the commission is going to, they are going to implement these new ordinances, I feel, and I'm really happy about it, and I'm working with them, and I do feel that they're trying to get this changed, and so kudos to them if that's the case. And again, I hope I'm not particularly going after them on this, but these are really good questions. Like, why are we not enforcing these state statutes, but yet they're the ones that bring them up, not the commissioners necessarily. Well, actually, one of them did in a meeting. So we just need to start getting some structure in our laws here. And again, I really do think the commission is starting to really pay attention to this for the first time. And so let's keep rolling with it. And, hopefully this time next year we can come on here and do nothing but praise everybody involved at the county level and in the field and other organizations. They need to step up too and help us do this enforce more of our ordinances so we can fix the problem. Anyway, thanks for listening to me rave about this tonight, and hope you enjoyed it. We're going to start having more guests on, so stay tuned.